Scotty starts proposing. I am begging on my knees for Aria to say no. I'm like, girl, don't do it. Don't do
Uh-huh.
it, girl. Don't. I was like, there's no way she's going to say it. There's no way. And then she says yes, and I lost it. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching this episode of Batchmakers. Make sure to
Like
comment.
and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Keep watching.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Batchmakers. We're the Ultimatum edition. This is episode 2 of the Ultimatum, but actually it's like the rest of the Ultimatum
That's it.
episodes.
This is it.
But this is season 3 of the Ultimatum recap, part 2. Go check out the first half of the season we recapped a week and a half ago or something like that. Now we've got the rest of the season. So the last 4 episodes, right?
Yeah, I think there was 9 total. So last 3 episodes and the reunion.
And the reunion, which was a reunion.
Yeah. I have so many thoughts. This episode's gonna be all over the place. I have notes.
My notes are random. I didn't do that good of notes for the last 2 episodes before the finale, just because I didn't think we were gonna do an episode on it.
And now here we are. There's not much to say about
I just kind of casually watched them, which those episodes kind of sucked in the beginning in the first place.
Yeah, it's like, oh hey, remember when we dated and now we broke up for a little bit and then we're married, kind of. Whoa, this is crazy.
And it's just bickering, and then you show up and it's ultimatum day and they say yes, and it's like, oh my gosh, sounds toxic.
Where do we want to start? Where do we start here? How do we organize these thoughts? Person by person, couple by couple? That's how we.
I say we go couple by couple until the reunion, and then talk about the reunion separately.
Deal. Love that.
Because we talk about the rest of the journeys. We talk about their answer at the final ultimatum question,
and then we
get into the reunion.
All right. Which of these lovely human couples do we want to talk about?
I say we start with Caleb and Aria.
Okay. Well, Caleb and Mariah.
Wait, oh my God.
You can ask me to play.
Siri, stop. Hey, Siri, stop. I don't know how Siri picked that up.
Is your Siri named Caleb or Aria?
No. Why? Its name's Siri.
Why did it respond?
I don't know. Yeah, okay, my bad. Wow. Caleb and Aria. Maybe because I shipped it in my head so much.
I shipped Caleb and Aria too. I really did. I don't anymore because I do like Mariah.
Yeah.
But I think it was more anti-Scotty, which we'll get into. But anyways, Caleb and Mariah.
Yeah.
They were somewhat normal.
Yeah, they kind of are. I think out of all the couples here, got the less screen time, least amount of screen time, I would say, in terms of combined screen timeage, which is kind of crazy given the fact that hindsight 2020, they're the only successful couple coming out of this. And I don't know, I can't remember the first 2 seasons how many successful couples they had, but right now Netflix, they're your only chance of being like the power couple that could keep this show going.
Whoa, right? Wait, Mike, you're telling me they focused on the drama and not the love?
I know, but you still need like Love is Blind. You still need your successful couples. Yeah. Same with The Bachelor. You still have to have successful couples or the show will eventually die because nobody believes in it. And at the end of the day, this isn't a dating show. This is a marriage show. So you still need successful couples.
Like, it's hard to rally behind them when they already were a successful couple before this. That's the weird part about this is they've been dating. They've been together for years. And then they just ended up getting engaged here. So it's not like, oh, they're engaged now. Let's follow to see what happens. Like, all right, we know you guys are chilling. Like, we know you guys get along. Like, it's not boring, but it's just, all right, hey, you did what normal people who are in love with each other and have been together for multiple years do, and that's get engaged. And congrats. Yeah. Like,
but now you just have kind of a blemish on your
resume.
Engagement, but with an asterisk. With an asterisk.
Yeah,
this is like it's not the same, and everybody in the world knows your problems and knows that it's bound to fail. Like it's inevitable that you guys will fail, and if it is successful, it's still like that's weird that they did that in the first place. Why'd they go on there in the first place?
So,
That's
Mariah offered the ultimatum to Caleb, correct?
Caleb. Which they've been dating for 2 years. She's 25, so that means they've been dating since 23, and she's I don't know. It's kind of crazy to give an ultimatum after 2 years when you're 25 years old. But hey, I guess it works out. I guess it worked out for him.
Was there any part of you that thought this felt like the most surefire, like this will probably end in an engagement? Throughout those last couple episodes, was there any part of you that thought something other than what we saw would happen? Any other outcome you thought was most likely second outcome?
I think still just Caleb being like, no, I'm not ready to be a husband. And like, no, I'm not ready. And just him saying, I'm not ready for marriage. I mean, because he was the one that issued the ultimatum. I don't think Mariah was ever changing her mind. It seemed like she was regretting even signing up for the show, even though I do think she may have liked the fame that came with the show. So I don't.
Is there much fame that comes with this show? I haven't checked their social media. Are they getting a pop?
She's the only one that I followed. She's the only one that I followed, and she's definitely posting a lot of stories and doing very influency things.
Okay.
Influency things.
All right.
I'll say that. She's only got like 25, I think, right now, which the most grown, I think, is JR had a big following coming in, but Zaina grew a lot.
Yeah. I can see that.
She was on Vial Files last week.
You mean Vial?
Yeah. The Vial Files.
Nick Vial Files? Okay, yeah.
The Nick Vial Files.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think they made sense together. There's not much to talk about there. And we'll talk about in the reunion with Caleb and Aria and their weird.
That was crazy.
It's just so weird. Like I don't know. We'll talk about it in the finale, but that was pretty straightforward. Where do you want to go to next?
Wait, I think I may have one other note on the first couple episodes before.
I want to talk. I have
my reunion notes are so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Caleb and Aria's. I did put Caleb and Aria besties for the resties.
I like
that
them.
friendship
Yeah,
was pretty. Yeah, but honestly, we'll talk about more when we get to the reunion. But I thought it was a friendship to me. Aria kind of went crazy for no reason, but
yeah, they seemed pretty. They seemed chill. Like they seemed like, hey, like we're gonna help each other through this process, and I like them together. And like, if I didn't like Mariah, I would have liked Aria and Caleb together because
100%,
the fourth person in that little couple situation is one of my least favorite human beings I've ever seen on reality television. Which do we want to just go there?
Yeah, I will say during Caleb and Mariah's engagement at their final decision, that did get me to tear up.
I cried too. I cried too.
No tear. It's because Caleb was so his voice in general is like very like timid. There's the only way to put it. It's like very timid voice,
shaky.
And when he was already shaky and then just emotional and had to write it down, and like that was, he didn't technically propose. He technically was like, "You want to just start forever right now?" And then there was a long blank. She just didn't respond, and he was like, "Well," I thought that was a nice little bit, but he didn't technically say, "Will you marry me?"
Is that a requirement for proposal? The direct "Will you marry?" Or can you say like, "Will you be my best friend forever?"
I think you can say that, but then you still have to be like, "Will you marry me?" Like,
is that a requirement?
Need to be in it.
Legally, is that a legally binding engagement if you don't say, "Will you marry me?" Will you make me the happiest man in the world for the rest of my life?
And then you put a ring on him, like, by buying me an Xbox.
Yeah, it's by wearing this sick ring. Like this isn't a wedding ring. Look, calm down. Let's just gaslight her to think it's not a proposal.
Think I'm proposing? Oh, you think I'm proposing right now?
Whoa, calm down.
No, I just thought this would like look super cool with your vibe.
I have a leg cramp. Calm down. I'm just down here for time of shoe. All right, can we please talk about Scotty?
Caleb. Scotty and Aria.
Can we back up and do Scotty and Zaina for a second?
Oh yeah, that they started that
Yeah,
episode.
this is when I realized Scotty's, with all due respect, a crazy person. So first of
Yeah.
all, I love Zaina at one point when Scotty comes in, he's complaining about JR like coming at him. And he's like, this is so blah blah blah, whatever. And then Zaina dropped the quote or the question that I think would drive the most like any insecure person, which I believe Scotty is, like insane. She goes,
Mhm.
"What, were you intimidated?"
I don't give a shit about how many weights you lift, how big you are, how much you eat per day. I don't play that shit.
Were you intimidated?
Hell no. Do you think I'm intimidated by JR?
No, I'm just like, it's a lot.
What relevance does that have to the conversation?
Oh, and I saw Scotty's head just. I saw the smoke come out of his ears. He was like, "What? I wasn't intimidated. Why would I be intimidated by Jr., who's 6'4", 280 of pure lean muscle? Like I'm intimidated just by looking at him. So like, it's okay to be intimidated, dude. It's all right." But when Zeta dropped that, she knew what she was doing. She knew she was
Mhm.
dropping that in. It was so good.
Yeah. By this point, she knew there's zero chance her and Scotty end up together or even like have any sort of connection together. They're playing Pong right there. You know when they were like talking and they kind of made up from their little scuffle they had. Scotty just hits Zaina with a little one-liner, and it's just to end it. And he's like playing Pong, and he goes like, "You look alright, by the way."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "What the? That was the most frat
Oh, dude.
douchey thing I've heard." And his blank stare.
It's
I've been
terrifying.
seeing some TikToks about his stares. His blank stare is not even like scary, it's concerning. It is like a different level of like,
When he took the ball out for the last shot that Zaina hit, he's staring in the soul and just
mhm.
I think
Yeah, and I don't. Maybe he's trying to do like a little flirty stare,
It's
but if so,
terrifying.
like that's not. And that stare can't be edited a certain way.
Mm-mm.
That's
eyes
you got to
eyes
work on
don't
that
lie.
face.
Eyes don't lie.
I just you gotta fix that,
Dude,
It's
and
not. That's like RBF to a
yeah.
like times 10.
And he was arguing with her and he was like, "You're so drama." He said, "Hang up the drama jersey, put it in the rafters."
Unnecessary drama. Like, I feel like you a little too old to be doing all that.
I'm too old.
Yeah.
And you are
At 32,
so immature.
you should low-key, like, hang up the drama jersey in the rafters. It's time.
That
That's kind of a bar.
kind of a
That's
bar.
kind of a bar.
He was like, "It's always drama. Like you're." He said, "You're too old for this shit." And hang up the drama jersey, put it in the rafters, which is
Yeah,
so crazy.
wild quote, but I mean, kind of a bar.
I
Like
kind
that's
of
kind of a
liked
bar.
it. I kind of liked it. It was kind of
I
funny.
did, yeah.
Um,
The whole conversation when he was sitting on a toilet too, when he was the editing in that little conversation, she was like folding laundry.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
was
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
with on a toilet, but with like on like the lid of the toilet. The whole editing in that conversation was so perfect. I don't know. They had like music playing, and then he was like, "Oh yeah," and then like taking your phone and going to the bathroom at like 2 a.m. and then music cut, and Zayn was like, "What the fuck? Like I can't go to the bathroom and like use my phone." When Scotty said that too, I was like, "All right, that is I've given him some chances. That might be the last straw."
So he ends up. They do another thing with the trial marriage with Aria.
With Aria.
And I mean, I'll skip ahead a little bit because there wasn't much there. They're just more of the same bickering and fighting. I have not screamed at a TV screen in quite a long time, probably since the Golden Bachelor fiasco with Leslie. When
Yep.
Scotty starts proposing, I am begging on my knees for Arya to say no. I'm like, girl, don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't. I was like, there's no way she's going to say it. There's no way. And then she says yes, and I lost it. Immediately, I was like, what are you doing? Oh, the signs were there. Everything was laid out in front of you. I mean, thankfully, the reunion was 30 seconds later, and then I could just skip ahead. And I mean, that was the least shocking thing of all time that they're not. Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Don't end up together.
Yeah.
But I was genuinely yelling at my TV screen. I was like, don't say yes.
I was a big fan of Aria the whole season, and these last 2 episodes, finale and reunion, kind of changed my opinion. Kind of changed my opinion of her, which it's just, how do you say yes? And I don't know anything about the relationship for 3 years. All I've been seeing is what's been shown on TV, obviously. So take that what you will. But Scotty's fucking crazy. Scotty, you deserve so much better, Queen. You deserve so much better. And Scotty, like, it was like a villain. He wasn't even the villain edit, though. He was just like actually bad.
Yeah. Like, they didn't do anything to make him look intentionally bad. He was just
just saying, and the way he says it too.
Yeah.
I can't even do his voice.
It's gaslight. He's like, what?
It's just gaslight.
It's 100%. 100%. Oh man.
I would say manipulative, but I was trying to say manipulative bad. You know how like JR says, JR can't say manipulative. I wrote that down. He can't say the word.
I didn't notice that.
No, like JR can't say the word. I had to write it down because like JR kind of talks a little different.
Do you want to go there? What's the next couple we got to talk about?
Yeah, I guess we can go JR and
Zaina.
Sandy or JR and Zaina. Yeah, I guess.
Well, both. Let's just do the JR arc real quick. So JR and Sandy have this conversation. I'll do the conversation they had after the trial marriages are over. They have this conversation. It's like, hey, you're confident in what you're going to do? Yeah, I'm confident what I'm going to do. Hey, you're confident in what you're going to do? Yeah, I'm confident. We leave that thinking, wait a second.
They're going to get together.
Well, yeah, I thought they were going to end up together. I still think they might at this point. Like, I still think that's on the table, them ending up together after all of this. But when Zaina and JR were having their little potential proposal moment, it seemed like they were about to get engaged. The entire setup was perfectly edited. Chef's kiss fooled me. I was like, the whole time, I was like, wait a second, this is about to happen, isn't it? JR is about to get down on a knee. And then he just pulled the rug out from Zaina, which I think Zaina's not mad about at all.
100%.
And then he says, psych, I'm leaving. I'm out. And then I'm going to go flex on Instagram for a couple followers. That's it.
100%. Like, that's how, I mean, so I wrote down for my notes. So the Zaina and JR shit, break up, awake, but like, yeah, you deserve Zaina and JR. I don't even know with you, man. You here for fame, bro. You stupid. That's what I wrote down for my notes with JR and Zaina.
Okay.
I
couldn't even make sense of that.
I couldn't, but yeah, no, I don't know. I still think they could be low-key a producer plant. I think if any couple, well, you can't have one person be a producer plant because then the other person, like, what?
That's a good point.
I think if any couple of the original couples that showed up together were a producer plant, it was those two, or Sandy and Nick. But I think probably Zaina and JR, just because. Yeah,
Zaina is the one person who came out of this has like
flying colors,
star potential, because she
100%.
Like she's like, I'm so thankful for this experience because it showed JR is not ready for any of this. So it's huge.
We can talk about the reunion, but she was definitely the real winner. I think she's the top of the pyramid. We talked about that one meme.
Yep. Last couple before we do reunion, Nick and Sandy. I don't know where to start here with these two.
Sandy, not Siri. Hey Siri, stop. God.
Where do you want to start with Nick and Sandy here?
I mean, since we're just talking about JR, I guess we can talk about the end of like JR and Sandy. We kind of talked about their conversation. Nick, which I would never say Nick is in the right for anything he did. I think he did some. Nick, seriously, I mean, he talked about the reunion, but he's got some problems, and it looks like he's actively working on that. I think that explains a lot, but it doesn't really excuse, I guess, some of the craziness, but he was just going through it. He should not have done this. He should not have done this.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still kind of confused of how he signed them up for it. I'm still so bewildered by like the fact that he made Sandy go on the show when clearly it looked like maybe Sandy was here for alternative motives and Nick got just trauma fucked by it, right? That's best way to put it. So
I have a quick theory. I think Nick knew before this whole experience, Sandy is not ready or does not want to marry me right now, or maybe ever. So in his mind, he goes, here's a way to kind of speed run things here. Kind of push her to the point of, oh yeah, maybe I do like him and I'll get engaged. Or worst case scenario, he has a moment on television. I think that's the motive there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong, but I think you don't go into this situation feeling secure about your relationship. I think he had his own inklings of, hey, she's just kind of having fun here. I'm more serious about this. How can I speed up her process of maybe getting there? Let's do a game show, a little dating show.
I think they were both just so toxic for each other. And like not saying one person's more toxic than the other or vice versa. Like Sandy, bad for Nick. Nick, bad for Sandy. And when and it's not like multiplication where two negatives equals positive. And in relationships, again, we're not a relationship god podcast. We cannot give advice given we're both single, but too toxic does not go well together if you're actually trying to get married and have a productive, healthy relationship. If you're just trying to do a little toxicity for a bit, cool. But yeah, that we knew that shit wasn't gonna work.
I do want to say that I think if Sandy picked JR, like when they're sitting on that bench beforehand, JR would have left with Sandy. If Sandy was like, hey, let's leave together, JR would have been 100% down for it.
Because I think he knew he was in the doghouse enough to where like him and Zaina aren't mending things. They aren't mending things. He wasn't gonna get down on one knee for Zaina, so he could have maybe left with Sandy, but I don't think they'd still be together.
Oh, probably not. But part of that conversation on the bench, he was kind of throwing out feelers like I know what I'm gonna do, but like, what do you want to do? Like I know what I like. Are you?
I'll get together with you if you want to get together.
Yeah, you like you feel good about this decision, right? Because I do too. Like
I kind of like you. Do you like me?
Yeah, we were like so like it was so genuine. When we had never. He said,
do you like me? Yes or no?
Yeah, no. He said something so insane. Here's what happened. He said, I'm gonna paraphrase this. It's not perfect. He said, I've never had anyone understand me the way you did, and like in my entire life. And she kept saying, like, I know, like that was crazy. Like, I know. It's like, no, you've known each other for 3 weeks now.
Like, I've never been this vulnerable before in my entire life.
I know.
I like it.
How do you know that no one in his life has understood him this way? Because she was like so confident in that. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't add up.
And what they were saying to their own respective partners, they were like, you're my best friend. I love you so much. Nobody knows me like you do. Like they were saying that to their own partners. And then to say that to each other is
gosh, wild. No one's ever understood me the way that you do, Sandy. By the way, I'm going to go propose to Zaina. Like, I'm going to go back to my girlfriend. But like, this was sick. Would do again. That's what's up. Only kissed once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Who's to say?
Somebody on TikTok was saying that it was 8.
Dude, they kissed many times. And then his response is, oh, I forgot. Like, I don't know. Like, shit. Dude, like.
Yeah. I guess we just get to the reunion.
Yeah, let's do the reunion.
The real meat. The real meat. I do have a when Nick and Sandy were like kind of taking their break, they were, he did say, look, I have a ring in my pocket. I don't know. And then at the reunion, he kind of said he wasn't going to propose. And
he was reaching for a paper.
Yeah. And I was like, that's cap. But I did hate when Sandy said, "I want nothing more than to walk out here engaged with you and ride off into the sunset." It's like,
Say, no,
no,
you don't.
you can't say that and then be like, "Oh no, I don't want to marry you."
Yeah.
Like, you can't say nothing more than to just like go off with you. And like, because who else said that? I think Jr. also
Yeah.
said that to Zaina. Like, I want nothing more than to like propose to you, but I'm not proposing to you. Like, don't say
It's like
those
someone
things.
watching this right now be like, guys, like, I love the podcast. I want nothing more than to subscribe to this channel and watch you guys.
Just
Just fucking do it. Just fucking
channel.
subscribe. Click the button. It's right there. Like, you have in
Yeah.
your means to do the thing that you're saying you want to do.
Yeah.
You just don't mean it.
That happened like twice. I think with Sandy and with Jr. I thought it was gonna happen with Scotty, too, but no, she actually
Just
Aria
said
was
yes.
actually just like yes.
Crazy. Wait, can I say before we talk about the details of the reunion, the concept of the reunion, I have two problems with. One, every couple they talked about, Nick and Vanessa are like, man, like America's just like they saw you fall in love and they've been rooting for you. Update us on what's happening. It's like, no, America, what they did, we just watched the finale and went straight to the reunion. There was no break.
Yeah.
There was a 30-second, let me refresh Netflix real quick. So we didn't have time to process all that and then pick favorites and pick sides. No, don't tell us what we were doing over the time that you didn't give us. You got to space out the reunion. Insane to do it
Yeah.
immediately after. And then, sorry, go ahead.
My idea with the timing and how they do the reunion, I think in previous seasons of like Love is Blind, it's like a week after the finale, which I think that is kind of maybe a little bit too long. Like, you need it a little bit more fresh. So I think it should be like 2 days max. Like, you put out the finale on like a Wednesday, reunion's out on a Friday, or like Tuesday, Thursday, something like that, or like a day where you can watch the finale and then get ready for the reunion. And the reunion needs to be live. It needs to be live, so you need to be able to live tweet it. You need to be able to live tweet it, put commercials in there. You did it for Love is Blind, I think, and Love Island does it. You need to do a live reunion. I mean, Bachelor obviously is always live, but
yeah,
you got to do it live.
You have to. Yeah, you have to have that moment, that cultural moment, doing something live, and
with a live audience. You need a live audience.
Yes, I would.
Just doing it in a studio, weird. You need some audience reactions and stuff.
Yeah. Also, are they just giving them the episodes to watch before the reunion? I wonder how that works, because they're not watching along with America. It's not like, because that reunion is already filmed. So did they watch back their proposals, or like?
That's true. I never really thought about that.
What? How are they seeing this? Like, because Aria and Scotty were like, watching back the proposals. Like, when did you watch it? I just watched it because I'm on Netflix.
Yeah.
But you recorded this. Did they just give you like a flash drive and be like, hey, here are the episodes?
I think they watched all of them, but the final decision, like the finale one.
You see that they should do what the Bachelor does, and when I'm watching the
bring back
finale,
Jen, make her watch her engagement.
Make Jen watch every engagement. No, they should just have a couple cam or like a reunion cam in the bottom of the corner.
Yep.
So it doesn't have to be live, but just them reacting to the episode live. So we don't know if they're still together. So have them seated by each other and just cut to them in the corner the entire time watching. I would be into that. That's
good. I thought when you first were talking about like somebody at the bottom corner, I thought you were gonna put do like a live ESPN ticker with like the scores to the couples.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not a bad idea either. Or it's like a around the horn style reunion where like Nick and Vanessa Lachey give out points for like points they make, like when Zaina was popping off on JR, he's like, oh, +2.
It's a live audience vote on like should Aria say yes or no. It just becomes a VR like video game. It's Bandersnatch.
I mean, hey, they were promoting the video game after, or like some video game at the very end of that reunion, but I don't know. That's the Netflix games or whatever. Okay.
Reunion stuff. What stood out to you? So obviously, quick summary: couples still together, Caleb and Mariah.
Yeah.
Vanessa and Dave, and maybe Chanel and the other dude. What was his name?
Micah.
They just left. Yeah. So maybe they're still together. Who knows? Everyone else broken up, and that's about it.
Yeah. So they started with Caleb and Mariah, and they said, "Oh, we're happily engaged. We did a trip to whatever," and they're getting married. They said summer of 2026.
Long time.
That's almost a 3-year engagement.
That's a bachelor
Why
type
even
engagement.
That's longer than how long they were dating before they went on the show. I think people are kind of glossing over that.
Well,
Like, you weren't here for a marriage.
you're here for a
Like,
free ring, and then an eventual marriage.
I guess, but it's just like that makes like I get it takes a lot to plan a wedding, but 2026.
Yeah, it's not like The
That's
Bachelor where,
crazy.
hey, we want to get to know each other first. It's like you dated before this. So it's not
Yeah.
like you need the long engagement, but whatever, teach their own.
Yeah. So I thought that was crazy. I guess, and then we kind of talk about like the Aria and Caleb drama, which I wasn't expecting.
So weird.
This drama.
So weird. Aria got super. Hey, you were Caleb's
You were
apparently
liking my Instagram stories,
can't be liking stories, man.
which
That his defense was, I was watching Zaina's too. It wasn't just
honestly. That's not a bad.
watching
That's not a bad defense. That's not a bad defense. So I guess this brings up the ever long Instagram debate, right?
Mhm.
Or the debate in my friend group. What does a story like mean?
It means you're in love with them. It means you're in love with them. I stand by that.
But then some people are like, it's just a friend thing. If I like their story, I'm gonna throw them a like.
It's either very funny or I'm in love with you. If I'm tossing out likes.
Or I'll do like wholesome likes too.
There's some wholesome likes too.
Like,
Yeah, it's like, hey,
yeah, some wholesome.
this was I did this thing. Happy Mother's Day, like.
Or like, I'm 6 beers deep. It's like, I'm 6 beers deep, and I kind of want to be toxic right now.
I think
there's some of those likes.
The amount
too.
of I think
I want my name to show up on their phone. I want my name to show up as a notification on their phone. So I'm kind of gonna send a like.
I think there's an equation here: is the amount of beers deep you are in is the amount of Instagram likes per hour you're tossing out.
Oh yeah,
I think if I'm 10 beers deep, I'm just.
I mean,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. But like,
I think the internet needs to like kind of make up their mind on what Instagram like means, because
I think that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
That's true. They're gonna change it at some point, and they're gonna take out the fun.
You can now comment on.
You can, and other people can see it, which is wild.
Yeah, dude. They should make Instagram likes public. That's how you do it. That's how you fix it.
I mean, that would throw it all the way back to freshman year of high school when you could see the top 3 Snapchat friends.
They should bring that back.
That's the same equivalence.
You should. Oh, how about this?
Nobody's really using Snapchat.
How about this? You don't publicize Instagram story likes, but you publicize the top 3 people who have liked your stories the most. So like I can see, and everyone can see who has liked my stories the most. Now that's juice. Yeah. That is the juice is loose.
Who has viewed your profile the most? That'd be crazy. That would expose. I mean, that would ruin so many relationships. That would. But I guess.
Babe, I wasn't looking. I swear, my finger slipped 492 times this month.
This month?
Oh,
how many stories you doing?
I was just trying to click through as fast as I could. But anyway, so
some people,
he's liking stories. He said he likes Zaina's too, and
yeah,
I think Aria. I didn't love this move.
I hated it. This is why I started hating Aria.
I mean, I don't know how much likes Caleb was really tossing out there. Because here's my thing. My thought was, in defense of Caleb,
3 or 4.
What if she's like promoting the show and like putting up like a clip from the show? I could see him liking that. Like that feels normal.
And I think if it was a flirty like, she would have said like, you were liking Instagram story, like my selfies, or like my thirst traps, or like something,
Yeah,
we've all done it. A chick looks hot on Instagram story. Yeah,
but if someone,
they probably get a million of those.
If someone posts batch makers on their Snapchat, on their Instagram, I'm liking it. That's not a I'm in love.
Yeah.
It's just like a hell yeah. So if someone
Yeah.
posts the ultimatum, if Aria's posting an ultimatum, maybe toss a like. So that's the way I see myself defending him. But who knows? Who knows what he's actually liking?
Yeah.
Just felt like unnecessary drama.
Yeah. I thought they had a very. I do get her point of, you weren't honest with Mariah about our emotional connection, which is true, but it was a friendship thing. I think everybody saw that Caleb and Aria was a friendship. And at some point, do you stress Mariah out by like saying, yeah, we had an emotional connection when it was just a friendship connection?
But can we have some clarification here? What's the difference between a friendship connection and emotional connection? In my eyes, all friendships are by definition an emotional connection.
Correct.
Like where's the line here?
And it was platonic, like he was saying, which I love that word.
It's a great word.
Platonic. It was definitely platonic. They didn't do any kissing. They didn't do any.
I would argue their face mask was more romantic than JR and Sandy kissing.
That's not a bad take. That's not a bad take.
That's a way more romantic, sensual thing. I
do face masks with my roommates all the time, but
it's emotional connection. What can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next? One of my favorite moments.
I guess Aria and Scotty, right?
We could do Aria and Scotty. Yeah.
So we obviously learned that they broke up. She called off the engagement the day after, which seeing the finale right before and then watching the reunion, it's like, oh yeah, we actually broke up a day after. Oh. Fucking hilarious.
Which, like,
I think it's the funniest thing ever.
I wasn't even surprised. Like, you could see that, like, as I'm yelling at the TV, I'm like, don't say yes, don't say yes. You could see she was thinking the same thing. Like, she hesitated. She wasn't in on it.
She may have just said it because the cameras,
Yeah. So real. It'd be hard to say no.
But then she moved in.
Well, yeah, I think they were like,
right?
hey, like,
they were saying that.
We don't need to get engaged. Like, hey, this show's kind of stupid. Maybe we can just like keep dating and like work through our shit together. And then he moved. I think he moved to her.
He moved for her.
Which,
yeah,
I guess
so I'll give Scotty some
props to Scotty. He was willing to put in the work, kind of, until she wasn't. And then guess what? Scotty was Scotty, and it didn't work out. Shocking. And then they broke up. And then no one's really surprised, or feels bad.
They had some trauma. They said some things which, when Scotty was like, "It's not my place to say," 100%, it's not his place to say. Aria, I don't even think
it was
you needed to say that at all.
Yeah,
it didn't provide anything to the context of the relationship you didn't need to say that at all. I think she maybe. I'm not saying she was saying that for sympathy.
But you didn't it just felt.
But you didn't have to say. It felt extra. Felt a little TMI.
Yeah, it's so tough when like you're tackling.
Obviously, I feel bad about
terrible things on a reality TV show that is inherently stupid, and then all of a sudden something very serious comes up, and you're like, wait, what? We didn't. Why are we going here? And it's like disorienting. And like, obviously you feel terrible, but like you're sitting here watching this entertainment thing. And then they try to tackle tough subjects. And it's just like, this isn't what you're here for. And like, this isn't on Aria. This is more in the show. Like they left it in.
Yeah.
They easily could cut around that. And that's what I struggle when these shows take themselves way too seriously. And again, this is not on Aria at all. This is more on just the show. Yeah. This is a broader topic I want to talk about with these shows.
Yeah.
And like The Bachelor does it too. When they try to tackle these like important issues, it's like just shut the fuck up on certain topics. Like this isn't your place.
I think sometimes they think those things are needed to keep in to give people like that whole like, remember, this is real. Mm-hmm. This is reality. It's reality TV. Like it's real. And like, this is serious. And like, they feel like they need to keep that in. And I think there might be some people of the audience that actually appreciates it.
Yeah. Which like, again, there's a part of like representation where it's like, we should talk about these things. Maybe not on the Ultimatum.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I think of
Save it for the Perth match.
yeah. Well, I always think of Bo Burnham's song. Inside. It's one of my favorite things to ever be created. But it's like I don't need to know Bugle's take on race. Just be Bugles. Like, just you don't need to have. Not every brand, platform, everything has to have a take on everything ever. It's like just be Bugles. Just be the Ultimatum. You don't have to be this all-encompassing thing. I don't know. It's just that's a broader topic.
Netflix is Netflix. Netflix is Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Aria in this moment, this was like her big safe face moment. Not like safe face, because I don't think she had a negative reputation in the first place. And then with the reunion, she like, I feel like kind of acted out a bit and like needed to like save face.
Yeah, well, that's the
But
thing with
I feel like
having the
she-
reunion right after the finale is I would understand where she's coming from and like saving face, because the only thing, what, you good?
Yeah, I thought my computer was plugged in the whole time, but it's not. So now it's charging. So it's good. It was about to die.
Well, they're like, it's such a whiplash, and I think she assumed that people were gonna see her say yes to Scotty and judge her for that, but we didn't even have time to do that because we went straight into the finale. So it's like, how
we would have for sure.
yeah, if there was. So I see where she's coming from. Is like, hey, I got to come into this and like protect myself, because she's thinking America's had time to sit with this. It's like, no, we just clicked next episode and went straight in the finale and found out they weren't together, and we're like, okay, good. So like we weren't even
and then
judging.
She started popping off on Caleb. And
and it was
throwing shade. And I was like, whoa.
She was protecting herself.
Nobody hates you. You don't need to do
nothing at that point. Which again, I understand where she's coming from. Which like I would have thought the same thing. I probably would have had the same attitude if I just watched that and be like, America's not going to like that, because we all just saw, especially if they watched all the episodes, she's going to see how Scotty comes across and say, America's not going to like that I said yes to this guy. How do I save face here for a second?
Yeah, I guess. I'll give her that. JR and Zaina.
Yeah, my favorite part of this entire reunion was JR being the one to say he was there for a hall pass. That is an all-time moment. That is what reality television is here for. Him tearing down walls, yelling at Scotty, saying, dude, someone's out here saying I'm here for a hall pass. Like, who would even put those words in my mouth? That's so disrespectful. Nick, by the way, I still have no respect for you whatsoever because of one small thing you did. Like, zero respect. Also, who's saying I'm here for a hall pass? Cut to the footage. I'm here for a hall pass.
There's a rumor going around saying I'm here for a hall pass. What does that mean? There's cameras everywhere, so it should be interesting to see what comes out.
Like, I'm trying to be on that vibe for 3 weeks. I got a hall pass.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, but like, no, that is when that's what's needed about like those hidden footages and stuff like that. That's why you always have the cameras on. Like they're recording for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Those are the 10 seconds you have the cameras on all the time.
The JR package they put together of him just like flirting with her and watching him react to it, be like, dude, what? Like his facial reaction was like, what? That's not even like that's out of context, bro. Like the whole time. That is an editing. That is what I want to see. Hey, if someone's acting like an idiot,
need to be that.
It needs to be, hey, look how dumb you were for a couple weeks. Look at the screen and learn about it. So that was beautiful. That was perfectly executed. That almost saved this show for me because I've been very in and out on what this show is. But then that moment, I was like, that's television, folks. That's what we're here for.
That montage made me smile. I wrote that down,
bro.
ASAP.
Bro, you like your steaks like juicy and wet, like you, bro?
Yeah, that was wild. Some of his game is interesting to say the least.
14-year-old boy.
Actually,
learn how to flirt on Reddit.
He's like 34, and emotionally, I don't know. I'd probably give him 19 or 20.
What kind of kisser are you?
I like him super wet.
Yeah,
I like wet.
I just want to like just give me all that
slop.
Give me all that spit.
Give me all that spit. Oh my god, that's a wild thing to say. What I was gonna say about that. I think it's something The Bachelor could take though.
Yeah.
Like those little moments and shit. Like throw that into the women tell all.
Mm-hmm.
And they do kind of do some clips and
Like
some montages.
targeted bloopers. That's basically what it is.
You need more targeted bloopers, because at the end of the day they're bloopers, but they're targeted.
Yeah.
Because the blooper thing they do at the end of after the final rose or at the end of the tell all, it's great, but it's really unorganized.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy, and you can keep some of the fun bloopers at the end, but get some targeted footage, because we know you have
take a side. I think that's when we need Bachelor producers to take a side. They're too, I want to be lovey-dovey with everybody. Maybe you'll come back for Paradise. And I think that's the thing with Ultimatum. There's no, hey, we'll bring you back, like the perfect match or whatever, whatever. But I don't think they're as worried about that. The Bachelor world is so worried about keeping all their clientele
people happy.
So they won't do a moment of like targeted, hey, you look like an idiot here. We're going to show you that for a minute and a half.
Because at the end of the day, like, you know, they do one of those things for Sam M or Sam N or, you know, let's say one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, those guys are just going to laugh
about it.
You know? And that's not going to change whether they're going to Paradise or not, or that's not going to change their view of ABC or the producers. It's just going to make for good television. They do
so
that.
easily.
They do that. Even if they do that for Maria or Sydney. Yeah. Sydney might be a little mad at it. She's not going to hold that really against him.
Dude, it's as simple as
more than 2 hours.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they did this. It's as simple as doing a Sam M keep the main thing like montage.
I thought they
did.
Did
they do that?
I'm pretty sure they did do that, because remember we were like, is this fucking play about us?
What? I can't remember if they did a full montage, but if they didn't, they should have. Because that's the idea that we're looking for. Like more of that, like be aware, but
or like the moments of like just a quick cut of when Sam M was kind of just like and just like being just a clear douche on television. Yeah. Like more just like quick cuts of showing that.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, Sandy, just JR, Nick, and Zaina all go their separate ways. Nick is in a relationship. Good for him.
Yeah, and JR, I guess still kind of on the JR and Zaina. Yeah. Zaina popped off, right? She popped off her little thing where she had her nails.
Yeah, well,
she had a QR code.
What is this, Spy Kids?
That's what I didn't know whether to give her props or to be like, this is the creepiest, weirdest thing I've ever done. I think it's more on the props side. Like, that's sick that you snuck in like a QR code and it's like, Nick Lachey, go pull this up, put this on the big screen. I've got a QR code. How do you even get it?
I have so many questions about, is that like supposed to be a plug for some product that isn't like, what is let's just bring your phone.
Maybe they weren't allowed.
Well, she's like, does anyone have their phones? Someone has their phone.
Well, that's
have
true.
A QR code there, or just send it to the producers ahead of time, knowing you're going to do it. Like what?
Yeah. No, that was crazy. JR still saying like, I'm still processing what's going on, bro.
It's
what?
Been a year.
I know you're kind of slow, but like, holy shit, dude, you can't be like, I don't know if we'll ever get it back together or not, because I'm still like processing everything that went. Like, no. What, dude?
Come on. Dude, she was mad that we like didn't spend Christmas together. Bro, we spent Christmas together. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and she was like, I bought you a steak dinner and a massage for Christmas, and then you bought something for me like a couple of weeks later because you didn't get it. Which I do, to play devil's advocate, it did kind of seem like Zaina wanted the relationship and JR was actually kind of just done.
Yeah,
but I think maybe JR was making it seem like he was actually done, but maybe he kind of was. Yeah, still reaping some of the benefits of a relationship, but not. I don't know.
He made a decision and then just like couldn't decide if he made the right decision, so he was just still waffling, going back and forth.
Yeah, and he was like, "Wait, I'll make up my actual mind like once the show's out and I know what the public's gonna react."
Yeah, whatever the people decide, I'll put up an Instagram poll on if I should get back together with you or not, and then we'll go from there. I just love the voice of the people, my fans. I love them. Shout out, JR Gang.
Yeah, JR on TikTok was, Marshall from Love is Blind, like one of the earlier Love is Blinds. But like everybody loves him. All the Netflix reality people, like that's like the guy everybody rallies around. And he came at Marshall because Marshall reacted to like one of like the clips of JR and Sandy and stuff. He was like, "You're what?" And he came at Marshall and all the comments on his TikTok. We're like, no, literally nobody has your back in this. Like GG's, bro. Like you can't mess with Marshall. And I was like, damn.
I would love to start TikTok beef with JR. I think that's my new mission for this episode. I'm just gonna do all the clips that we just talked about JR, put it out there. I want to get his attention.
Dude, that'd be sick. And he's gonna be like, I actually just had 12 ounces of steak and exactly 15 grams of rice.
Oh, he's gonna come for your
look at my 6-pack.
He's gonna come for your TikToks, Mike. What I eat in a day. He's like,
nah, dude, he couldn't eat like me because he's thinking too much about it. He's thinking too much about it, and obviously, it's not working for him. And the man needs 8 sprays of cologne to smell good.
Mind if I bring up my scale?
That means he stinks. Would you mind if I bring a scale to the restaurant? Would that be it? Sandy's like, that's fine by me.
Oh man. All right. Anything else from this show overall you want to talk about? Any other moments?
I guess we can touch on Vanessa and Dave showing up for 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. Vanessa, I think
and Dave
showed up just to clear the air so she didn't leave unannounced. She showed up and was like, hey, Nick, you were clearly handling things poorly, lashing out at me for that. This wasn't a good space for me, and Dave wanted to leave anyways. It just made sense. So I think the only reason they showed up was so Vanessa could save face a little bit and say, I didn't just like dip for no reason.
But she did save face on. She said similar thing on TikTok. She had a big TikTok today about it. I didn't like how Dave was kind of coming at Nick too. That was a little weird.
Dave's still upset about how none of the girls wanted him.
How did they not roast him for that? How did nobody roast him for oh, you just left because none of the girls wanted you? How did nobody say that? They kind of showed a montage of him flirting, which rightfully so. That was fire, right?
I just don't think this process is for me, no, no one wanted
you. Literally before the dating week started was don't be surprised if I find somebody and I connect with it.
It's I just have a super charismatic way of talking. So you're from LA, Wyatt? Yes,
it's really hot down there. That's
which,
bro.
Again, who am I to judge? But you can't be flexing that you're this savant when you're not.
Yeah, how I
never claimed to be a boxer.
Yeah, that was wild. I didn't like that, but Sandy, JR, I'm sure we'll see both of them on Perfect Match. I'd be absolutely shocked if we don't. I don't know when that films or if that already has filmed. I actually think it already has filmed, and they're both rumored to be on it.
I'm excited for this Perfect Match thing because I'm new to this Netflix world, this Netflix cinematic universe. So we'll definitely have to talk about that. Hopefully it doesn't air during a Bachelor season, which would be dumb of them to do that. But we'll definitely cover it when it gets there. But last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up here, we have a very important fantasy football matchup this week, Michael. So Earth to Michael.
Yeah.
We
do.
We play Maddie, who's a Patreon member, friend of the program.
Yeah. And she's got a team.
She's got a squad. We got a very solid squad. So we need all the support from the Batchmakers. Send a lot of love towards Jade Daniels. I hate our running backs, ETN and Stevenson.
Oh yeah.
Jay Jetta's still gonna do his thing. Neighbors still questionable, scares me. Laporta, Smith and Jigba, Colts defense, Will Reichard. Let's bring home a ship. We got to do it. I think winning year one would set the tone. It's what the Wise Gals did back in last March. We won. It sets the tone early, just being the first winner. So please send a lot of love towards our team. And if you want to be in this league next year, we're a long ways out from that, but all Patreon members have the opportunity to join this league and compete against. Well, the other semifinal is Dylan B versus Sean, but we just beat Austin, which is a pretty big upset. He was 3 seed, we were 6. So, but if you want to compete in that league, join our Patreon. It's $5, cup of coffee, And yeah, you'll be in the running for that, as well as some other perks as well. So anything else, Mike, from you?
I did look up the rumored cast of season 3 of Perfect Match, and our good friends from the Bachelor world, there's gonna be some in it.
Whoa.
They're recruiting some Bachelor. Rachel Recchia and Blake.
Oh, really?
What's his last name?
Moines.
Bortles? No, it's not Bortles. Moines.
Yeah.
Bortles.
Blake Bortles on Perfect Match.
Yeah, he's rumored to be on it. I don't know if that was
anyone from the. We'll
official.
talk about that later then. All right, sounds good. Thanks for.
I think it was already filmed, low key.
Thanks for watching us talk about the Ultimatum. We'll have an interview out next week or after Christmas, and then we'll probably take that New Year's week off, and then right after that, we are in full
PowerPoint
prep mode,
right?
Huh?
PowerPoint and then draft.
We'll have PowerPoint draft predictions. No, it might just be PowerPoint draft. Also, make sure to follow our Twitter page. Our Twitter intern, Charlotte, will be tweeting from there a lot, updates through the episodes, as well as she's going to have a little segment on our recap episodes. She's got a big board, and it's gonna be cool. So stay tuned for that. She's also commissioner of our league, Michael. So she's going to have a new point system. She'll develop that herself. So it's out of our hands. So we're not just – because we've changed a lot, the point system, how we want to keep track of things. We're going to let her handle it. And all rules questions will go through her. So she will be a part of the show starting once we do the recaps and maybe some PowerPoint stuff as well. And then Lizzie will be back for those episodes as well. So this will be our last kind of – what's up?
We need to play Many Men when we bring Lizzie on when she's back.
Well,
like the Brian Robinson.
We get copyrighted on YouTube, but we can do a TikTok for it.
Yeah,
let's do that. That'll be fun. But yeah, so stay tuned for next week. Fun interview, and then we'll bring in 2025. Get ready for Grant season. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Peace. Thanks for watching this episode of Batch Makers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the Batch Makers, we shave Wyatt's head off.
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
By tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.